The universe may have just answered us back, and according to data coming from the world's most advanced observatories, the response was far from friendly. NASA's Deep Space Network recorded an event so statistically impossible that astrophysicists immediately stopped calling it an anomaly and started treating it as a potential intelligence. What began as another routine observation of an interstellar object has suddenly become one of the most disturbing space events ever documented in human history. An interstellar visitor known as 3I Atlas, originally believed to be a harmless, passive piece of space ice drifting through our solar system, suddenly altered its trajectory deep in space and executed what appears to be a calculated interception of a dead satellite orbiting Earth. The terrifying reality of this event lies not just in the fact that it occurred, but in the unbelievable level of mathematical precision involved. Imagine an object traveling across the vast emptiness of deep space from hundreds of millions of kilometers away, suddenly isolating a specific piece of human orbital machinery, tracking its complex path with flawless accuracy, and neutralizing it using a concentrated release of energy. Telemetry released directly by NASA and independently cross-verified by the European Space Agency confirms this was no passive drift or orbital coincidence. This was deliberate, targeted behavior executed with military precision. Instruments aboard the James Webb Space Telescope registered a sudden thermal bloom surrounding Cosmos 2251, an abandoned Soviet communications satellite that had been floating completely lifeless in Earth's orbital graveyard for decades. The satellite was hit by a focused electromagnetic burst lasting precisely 2.3 seconds, releasing an estimated 33 billion joules of raw energy straight from the leading edge of 3I Atlas. Let the true weight of that physical reality sink in for a moment. Natural comets do not hunt specific targets in low Earth orbit, and celestial asteroids do not execute complex trajectory adjustments to engage with artificial human constructs. Yet telemetry streams from 3 entirely separate planetary defense networks all point toward the exact same chilling conclusion. NASA officially confirmed the energy strike, the European Space Agency's Gaia Observatory logged the corresponding shift in path, and secondary optical arrays verified every single frame of the event. Whatever 3I Atlas truly is, it is operating far outside the established laws of standard cometary mechanics, and as scientists dug deeper into its behavioral history, the situation grew exponentially more unsettling. When 3I Atlas was initially identified by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, planetary researchers categorized it as merely the third confirmed interstellar traveler ever seen passing through our stellar neighborhood, following Oumuamua and Borisov. From the moment of its initial detection, however, one specific anomaly deeply disturbed astrophysicists analyzing its orbital parameters. As the object crossed into our solar system and ventured further into the Sun's immense gravitational well, it unexpectedly decelerated instead of gaining speed. Under the absolute laws of Newtonian physics, any natural celestial body falling deeper into a major gravitational field must accelerate continuously, unless an active opposing force is introduced to counter that inward pull. Despite this, 3I Atlas shed roughly 20% of its total kinetic velocity shortly after clearing Jupiter's orbital path, presenting the unmistakable physical signature of an object applying mechanical brakes. Astronomers initially attempted to frame this anomaly around theories of asymmetric outgassing, suggesting that volatile gases evaporating off a heating comet tail could act as natural thrusters, but that defense completely dissolved, following its sudden hyper-precise strike on Earth's orbital environment. To grasp the staggering complexity of what took place, one must examine the chaotic landscape of low Earth orbit. The region surrounding our planet is crammed with thousands of decommissioned satellites, discarded rocket stages, and millions of fragments of hypervelocity space debris floating from decades of space exploration. Over 12,000 actively tracked objects constantly circle Earth at hypersonic speeds, forming an extremely dense technological graveyard. Hidden within this chaotic field was Cosmos 2251, a dead metallic satellite weighing nearly 900 kilograms. NASA's Near-Earth Object Observation Program logged a violent spike of microwave radiation, sweeping straight through the crowded debris field. The incoming beam completely ignored thousands of operational communications satellites, swept cleanly past the International Space Station, and bypassed sensitive military hardware, locking with surgical exactness directly onto Cosmos 2251. Signal analysis revealed the beam operated on a precise 1.4 GHz frequency, pulsating in distinct mathematical intervals, measured exactly 3.14 seconds on and 3.14 seconds off. This clear mathematical signature was verified by the Chandra X-ray Observatory Issei arrays and the Keck Observatory in Hawaii, forcing the global scientific community to confront the horrifying question nobody dared voice publicly. What if 3I Atlas is not a natural comet at all? Executing a direct strike on an unpowered, tumbling satellite orbiting at nearly 28,000 kilometers per hour from deep space requires factoring in Earth's gravitational distortion, solar radiation pressures, upper atmospheric drag, and the chaotic rotation of the target itself. Achieving that accuracy reflects advanced computational targeting rather than natural astrophysical phenomena. Destroying the satellite, however, represented only the opening phase of the event. After the initial microwave burst rapidly superheated the satellite's metallic framework past 400 degrees Celsius, a secondary, entirely unknown force interacted with the object 15 minutes later. NASA telemetry logs indicated that the satellite's orbital momentum ceased instantly, not slowing down nor breaking apart, but completely freezing in place. In physics, an object subjected to extreme physical stress must either fracture catastrophically or accelerate along the vector of impact, yet Cosmos 2251 abruptly lost all forward motion without any visible explosion, as though localized gravity itself had been rewritten directly around it. Analysts estimated that completely halting the orbital velocity of a 900-kilogram mass instantaneously would typically require energy equivalent to a tactical nuclear detonation. Yet there was no shockwave, no kinetic debris dispersion, and no thermal blast, only absolute eerie stillness in orbit. As monitoring stations kept their optical lenses fixed on 3I Atlas, they realized the process was continuously repeating. At exact 60-second intervals, the identical operational loop executed: scan, lock, emit, scan, lock, emit. The interstellar object appeared to be systematically mapping and analyzing Earth's satellite graveyard, reading through the technological remnants of human civilization like a machine processing an orbital archive. According to internal analysis originating from Jet Propulsion Laboratory researchers, this repetitive pattern strongly resembled an automated operational sweep or cleanup routine. As disturbing as these initial interactions were, the physical transformation of the satellite's remains that followed completely shattered every remaining natural explanation, plunging space agencies and global defense departments into total operational silence. Under standard orbital mechanics, when a massive satellite breaks apart, the resulting debris immediately explodes outward in an expanding fragmentation cloud governed by momentum and momentum conservation. That explosive expansion was precisely what every predictive model calculated for Cosmos 2251 following the localized energy strike. NASA's high-resolution tracking assets, however, documented the exact inverse. Rather than dispersing into space, the shattered metallic fragments abruptly changed direction, reversing their motion to pull backward toward a singular, invisible central core like a film reel playing in reverse. Independent confirmation swept through space operations networks as NASA's Infrared Survey Explorer detected a powerful gravitational energy signature. ESA's ground-based radar mapped the structural contraction, and Space Force tracking arrays confirmed mass consolidation at the exact same coordinates. Within less than half a second, the glowing, shattered fragments of Cosmos 2251 condensed into a perfectly formed, hyperdense metallic sphere measuring exactly 2.7 meters in diameter. High-magnification optical scans taken by the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed that the sphere's outer hull was flawless, displaying structural tolerances refined down to a single nanometer. That degree of surface perfection surpasses the most advanced precision manufacturing capabilities available on Earth today, yet it was synthesized remotely from space junk by an object operating hundreds of millions of kilometers away. Scientists attempting to calculate the statistical probability of these events occurring naturally reached absurd figures almost immediately. The mathematical likelihood of a comet naturally generating targeted microwave pulses, coupled with localized gravitational field manipulation to construct a flawless sphere, is functionally zero. The Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics reclassified 3I Atlas from an observational anomaly to an artificial phenomenon, while researchers acknowledged the physical results could not be produced by any known natural process. Shortly after the sphere consolidated, NASA invoked severe data blackouts across public observatories, cutting off telemetry access and placing deep space networks behind classified military firewalls. The newly formed metallic sphere did not remain passive in orbit. Instead, it began navigating autonomously through low Earth orbit without emitting any chemical combustion, ion thrust, or visible thermal output. Moving cleanly through dense orbital shells, the sphere executed sudden trajectory shifts to navigate around operational infrastructure. It passed within a mere 42 meters of an active Starlink satellite before altering its vector, moving smoothly past spent rocket boosters with complete spatial control. Defense analysts evaluating the telemetry concluded that the object possessed precise classification capabilities, allowing it to bypass functioning human technology while focusing its sensors exclusively on inactive hardware. This adaptive behavior suggested the presence of an autonomous machine intelligence, actively analyzing humanity's technological history through our orbital debris. The underlying purpose of this orbital deployment came to light hours later, when the sphere opened a high-frequency communications link directed squarely at Earth through NASA's Deep Space Network antenna DSS-43. The transmission was broadcast on 2,380 MHz, the exact frequency used by human scientists to transmit the historic Arecibo message in 1974. The sphere sent humanity's original interstellar greeting back to Earth, but with deeply disturbing structural hits. The encoded representation of human DNA had been erased and replaced with a triple helix genetic layout completely unknown to terrestrial biology. Furthermore, the accompanying map of our solar system was altered to show Earth as a completely dead, dark world devoid of atmospheric activity, biosphere signatures, or technological emissions. Tracking facilities in Spain and Australia confirmed the incoming binary signal, verifying that this was not a simple radio bounce, but a deliberate, intelligence-driven modification of our own historical message. Inside global astrophysics centers, the prevailing theory quickly shifted from space exploration to national defense concerns. 3I Atlas appeared to be conducting a methodical risk assessment of planet Earth. Within 45 minutes of decoding the modified signal, NASA severed its deep space network from all public networks and initiated emergency defense protocols, marking an unprecedented level of information suppression in modern space operations. Meanwhile, 3I Atlas continued accelerating deeper into the inner solar system, placing itself along a precise path toward Mars that maximizes signal transmission coverage across the terrestrial planets. Every observational choice, energy pulse, gravitational manipulation, and radio burst, followed a rigid, logical progression, leading researchers to conclude that the triple helix binary code contained coherent, complex biological logic that could only be authored by a super-intelligent entity. Global defense analysts now fear that this sequence of events is merely the initial phase of a much broader autonomous mission operating inside our solar system. Following the message transmission, the sphere once again modified its flight path, executing rapid bursts of acceleration to move out of low Earth orbit and ascend into higher orbital altitudes. Scientists, governments, and defense agencies around the globe are currently tracking this silent, highly organized force as it executes its next objectives directly above our atmosphere, leaving humanity to face the terrifying reality that we are no longer alone. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts in the comments below as we continue to monitor every update on this historical event.